do you think that they are doing enough? Are you happy with what's happening in Mexico? Are you happy with what's happening in Germany?
I'm never happy. I always want more, right? Like that's the business. It's
So what
always
are you
got to
doing
go.
about it? What's happening?
So in Mexico, as I mentioned before, we had a very wet mine, too much water flow inflow coming into the mine. So we put in an interesting engineering solution to solve that problem, drawing the water table down in an underground mine, kind of like treating it like an open pit, creating a cone of depression around the mineralization, drying out the mine entirely. And that was really sending in the stormtroopers, right? Fix this, take every means to fix this. Um, and then we need to make a change. And right now, over the past 6 months or 9 months or so, we've got the optimizers in there, the plastic surgeons. So they're really working on, optimizing the mine, the normal course mining stuff that wasn't possible before. But this yields millions of dollars of cash flow when you push it and make sure that you pursue it entirely. We won't talk about Otis and Kilgore in terms of like the immediacy, but on the exploration front, we're making great strides.
Let's stay with Mexico. Let's stay with Mexico, right? So when do these stormtroopers report back to you? What are they going to be able to do in terms of the numbers, the economics around this? What's going to change?
So the stormtroopers have left the building now. Um, so yeah, I mean, but what they did was they took a mine that we were effectively mining underwater. Intensive grouting at the face, a very slow, inefficient mining process, and they've allowed normal dry mining conditions to continue going forward. And that job was done very effectively, and it's just part of our ordinary course of operations now.
So what's
Um,
changed? What's changed?
so now we have to deal with like the ordinary thing of getting guys to the face faster and for longer parts of their shift. More efficient use and safe use of ground support to make sure that we can operate efficiently. Two of the challenges that we face at Platosa are high electricity costs. We pay about 12 cents a kilowatt hour, but under Mexican energy reforms, we can go into the private market and get a lot less than that, about 25% less than that. So that's an optimization that we're in the process of doing over the next couple months. Our electricity costs are very high because we're pumping a lot of water. So that's going to result in an immediate significant savings to OPEX.
Okay,
And
like
then
like like what? Give us some idea of the numbers that you think you're going to be able to get to, because people are interested in that. People want to know: are you going to reduce your overheads? Are you going to be more profitable? I mean, tell us,
yeah,
what can you do?
yeah. So certainly for the past few quarters, we've not been generating profits, not been generating cash flow.
Right.
But with these optimizations, we're targeting an all-in sustaining cost of something below $15. That's really the target we want to get to.
When?
Towards the end of the year, in the second half of the year, basically where we're looking at right now.
That's still quite high, isn't it?
Silver at $18. If you look at our peer group, if you have an all-in sustaining cost under $15, you're kind of in that top 20% or so.
Wow, that high. That's amazing. Okay, and okay, so you think towards this end of the year you're going to be able to say we think we've got Mexico plateaus are under control now. It's as good as it's going to get. Is that the message?
Well, Platosa, the reality is it's, we want to mine 250 up to 300 tons per day from Platosa. So it's a small mine.
Yeah.
It's the highest grade mine in Mexico. It's one of the highest grade silver mines in the world.
Yeah.
Production grades are over a kilo per ton silver equivalent. So there's very few things like that out there. But it's small. So we need to find more. We need to grow more. And that's both at Platosa and then at Evolucion, which is where our mill is, about 200 kilometers to the south. But big exploration package around that. We've made a new discovery there as well, called the Lechuza zone. So that's something we're going to move towards resource over the course of the year. Need a bit more work to kind of set it on that path. But, it's organic growth from that perspective, like identify new deposits and put them into production.
So how much money? How much money are you going to put to that? I mean, are you going to spend time, effort, money, and if so, how much to kind of?
Yeah. So our exploration budget is generally around $4 to $5 million per year within our existing asset, and that doesn't sound like a lot, but it's very effectively spent money. What we're trying to do is find new things, right? So you don't want to, grid drill a greenfields project in the hopes that something might be there. We use a very scientific approach, and the way that we look at exploration is really it's research and development, right? And it's one of the things that's been lacking in the industry for a while. But for us, it's spend the money wisely, identify the target, and then bring your rigs on and start drilling something off. So down at Evolution, we've actually done quite a bit of that over the past year, and we're ready to move that now towards a defined resource over the course of 2020.
Right, and I mean, I don't know how much cash. I mean, how much cash are you sitting on at the moment?
So as of this transaction, we'll have about 10 million in cash US.
Right.
So we're in a pretty good position.
Okay.
And with Platosa, starting to turn around over the next few months, we should be generating that sustainable cash flow for the exploration that we want to do within our Mexican portfolio.
Right. So Platosa will be break even. That's what you're telling me?
Sustainable operation.
Sustainable. Yeah. Okay. Sustainable. Okay. Cool. And towards the end of the year, moving towards more of a profitability.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. So let's move away from that. Germany. What's happening in Germany? That well-known mining district.
Actually, you'd be surprised.
Tell me.
There's over 50 underground mining operations in Germany, right? There's a huge amount of coal production in Germany, and we're actually in the state of Saxony, which is in East Germany. It's kind of in the crook between Czech Republic and Poland, and it has a very, very long mining history. So the project that we have, it's called Silver City, or the Bronsdorf exploration license. It's about just northwest of the city of Freiburg. And this area was mined for 800 years, from the 11th century all the way through to just after the Franco-Prussian War. And Germany won the Franco-Prussian War and got a 200 million pound gold settlement from the French. And really, they dropped the silver standard, went to the gold standard, and history progressed from there. And this was one of the interesting things when I kind of was presented this project back in late 2018. I was dismissive at first as well. Who goes to Germany, right? But I didn't know. But I did the research and I thought about it, and then I pitched it to Ben. And he said, geologically, we have to be here. We have to check this out. And when you understand that history, and then you've got the switch to the gold standard, you've got World War I, you've got the Weimar Republic, the Great Depression, you have World War II, and then you have this becoming part of the USSR, effectively, or the Soviet Empire, right? Which was not focused on the capitalist metals of silver. It was focused on lead and zinc and tin and coal. So that was really what was explored for here, and silver was forgotten about.
I get the history. I understand the history of Germany and Europe around that time. Today, coal is not in favor in Germany. It's a very green, liberal country these days. So, how is mining in Germany for you? I mean, do you come across problems, protests, any issues with regulation, law?